reminds me of the two guys who were sitting for an exam. And at the end of the exam, they were being interviewed for the job. And the man says, you know, I've got a problem. Both of you guys have answered the questions exactly the same way, word for word. There is no difference in your answers. But I'm going to give it to this gentleman rather than to you. And the guy got offended. How come if our answers are identical, you're giving it to him and not to me? He says, there was one difference. In one of the questions, his answer was, I don't know the answer to this question. And your answer was, neither do I. So I just feel like saying, so do I, what you've just heard.
Not long after I got saved, I would go to work and listen to a Christian radio station, and there were small portions of sermons that would be played, and the name of the program was Let My People Think. And I heard an Indian man that I had no idea what he looked like that would come over the radio and say some of the most profound and inspiring things about God that I'd ever heard. It was an encouragement and an inspiration to me. And as I was saved for several years, I began to ask questions and wonder things and have to answer questions to unbelievers. And the one person who helped me to answer those questions that I had and other people was Ravi Zacharias. The church that my wife and I attended, we cleaned. And it was a pretty good sized church, building wise. It took about an hour for me and her to do it together. When she became pregnant, I was cleaning the church by myself, and it took an hour and a half or 2 hours to vacuum everything, dust everything. And this was when MP3 players were popular. I had a laptop computer, and somehow or another, I found out how to put Ravi Zacharias' sermons and teaching on Cash. Go. Come on, Cash. Ravi Zacharias' sermons and teachings on that MP3 player. So I'm glad I was able to clean the church and provide that service, but I looked forward to it because that was a time when I was over there in the church by myself. I would put the MP3 player in my pocket and put my earbuds in, or headphones, whatever they were called 13 years ago, and I would clean the church, and I would just be filled up with the information that he had to share. And because of listening to him so much, I was inspired. I was inspired to learn. I was inspired to think for myself. I was inspired to study the scriptures. I was inspired to be able to give other people answers to their questions in life. And the answer is always Jesus Christ, and that's what you'll find with Ravi Zacharias. And in this video, I'm going to give you 4 ways that Ravi Zacharias inspired millions of people, and you can too. Life is full of questions. He gave answers. Life is full of problems. He gave solutions. Life is complex. He simplified it.
I sometimes think about the cross and shut my eyes and try to see the cruel nails, the crown of thorns, and Jesus crucified for me. But even could I see him die, I would but see a little part of that great love which like a fire is always burning in his heart. You are valuable to God. You are unique and a composite fashioned in the image of God for a particular purpose. What it means to be human is to be created in the image of God. What it means to find your destiny is to find your Creator, who has created you and why He has made you for a purpose. So in general terms, the Imago Dei, in particular terms, it's not who you are alone that defines you, but whose you are. That is my prayer. To me, the person of Jesus Christ provides that coherent answer in the incarnation. He identifies my malady, provides for my malady, draws me into that relationship, takes me through the process of suffering, shows me the purity of Jesus Himself in the way He taught and lived, and ultimately in rising again from the dead, He teaches me that time is merely a temporal thing. We are here for eternity, and He alone is able to take us through the cross, past the open tomb, into the very presence of God. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, neither has entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for them that love Him. There is no other worldview that will give you corresponding and coherent answers to the four questions of life with logic, consistency, empirical adequacy, and experiential relevance. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes unto the Father except Him. He describes your heart. He provides for your malady. He equips you in suffering. He puts meaning into every moment in history. And He conquers death through the resurrection from the grave. Surrender to Him. Love Him. Follow Him. Serve Him. Live for Him. And take His message wherever you go.
He studied. He was dedicated and faithful. He lived with purpose. God helped him. He showed compassion. And he inspired people from all walks of life all over the world. You may say, Chaplain Reece, there's no way I'm ever going to speak to crowds of thousands of people about God. And I can say that about myself. But I've got a wife, I've got 4 children, I've got a home, I do devotions with them, I've got coworkers, I've got patients, I've got people that I come in contact with every single day that need answers to the questions of life. And I know Jesus, so I know the answer. He said He's the way, the truth, and the life. So you may not feel like you're very much. You may not feel like you have a big following. You may feel insignificant. But God created you who you are. He has a plan and purpose for your life. He has a plan and purpose for everyone that you come in contact with and that you can have a little bit of influence over. So I want to encourage you to inspire those people to look to Jesus, who is the author and finisher of our faith. This is Chaplain Reece signing off. Don't forget to read your Bible and pray every day. Don't forget that I love you and appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Is that right, buddy?